flight and go somewhere to see them. But I haven't been to a Mariners home game in years. Most of the times when I see the Mariners, it's on the road. And if this is the way that management is going to treat this thing, I think I'm okay with going to go see them in Houston or going to go see them at Angel Stadium or when the schedule allows them to play in Phoenix or up in Denver because those are a lot more economical for me than making my way up to Seattle.
Mm.
And I would help. I don't mind helping your bottom line if your bottom line was then turning around and giving me a team that I could be proud of. Yes, we got here quicker than we were supposed to, but it's almost like there's been bad management and bad planning involved in this too. How did you not know that this team was going to get more expensive as you keep the same nucleus around year after year? How do you let the root sports thing happen? But yet you have money to invest in that pretty warehouse facility across the street. How about a bat for the lineup?
They wanted Hatback Bar and Grill that badly, bro. Oh, they
Because man,
wanted to improve the press box. They wanted to improve the press box so they can buy their way to less negative publicity from the media. We ain't stupid. We see that shit from a mile away.
I'm telling you, man, there's nothing worse than you peeing on my leg and then turning around and telling me it's raining outside.
And the thing is, we're
Yeah.
close too. That's what's frustrating. Do you know how many years we've been Mariners fans where we're not even close? And I know we don't have a chance to start the season. And you kind of just say, well, I'll follow as much as I can. But we know this team is actually so close. You just need to push in a little bit to really reap the benefits. And you said it, man. This window is flying by. Gilbert's going to be on ARB 2 in a couple of weeks. Kirby and Cal are going to be on ARB 1 in a couple weeks. We got 2 possible years left with a Rosarina. We got 2 years left with Robles. I mean, this shit is going to fly by. We got 2 years left with JP, and I would honestly love to upgrade, but I'm not even worrying about shortstop because we know that an $11 million shortstop ain't going anywhere. Or I shouldn't say that. He's not going to get replaced. They're not
At
going
all.
to pay the sum to replace JP when he still has 2 years and 22 plus million left on his contract. So I don't even touch that. I touch on what we can do, but you're right, man. Urias, talk about taking $5 million and smoking it like a blunt, man.
Up in smoke real quick for no fucking reason whatsoever. None whatsoever. But again, they get paid to make those decisions, and I'm just a fan. I just have to roll with whatever punches that are in. And we got a lot of time before we get to February and spring training. So we'll get into those discussions about who, what, where, when, why, who's coming, who's not coming, what we can afford, what we can't afford. How does this team look moving forward? But going back to the article, you talk about the service thing, listening to them talk about Stanton talk about the personal relationship he has with service. And then when they ask him about how it got leaked and he just put his foot in his mouth and, oh, I can't be responsible for that. You're the motherfucking boss.
Hmm.
The decision to replace him had to come from nobody but you. That shit rolls down. There's a leak in your fucking system, and you might need to call a plumber to get that shit checked.
Hmm.
The fuck do you mean? Uh, I can't talk about it, but yes, you can. Yes, you can. I mean, maybe you're not going to talk about it to him, but obviously there's a leak somewhere in your organization that you may need to get figured out as you move
Hmm.
forward.
So RG in pro sports, when we hear about these leaks within organizations, I think more often than not they're purposefully leaked and there might not be a rat per se. But in my personal opinion, especially when you sent me that article and reading, because I didn't realize that Stanton and Service had such a personal relationship. This is why you kind of want to keep your business business and your friends, your family, because like Billy Bean said in Moneyball, he's like, I don't go on the road trips and I don't do this and that with the players because it makes it much easier to trade them or cut them when need be. I personally believe after reading that Stanton and Jerry just told someone within the front office lower level, please leak this to the right person. And that way we don't have to have the uncomfortable conversation because they're also friendly together. And if it was maybe more of a business like situation, it'd be a lot easier to fire Scott. I think they purposely had someone leak it so they didn't have to have that conversation.
Notorious B.I.G. tried to tell you, even last week, keep your family and business completely separated. Money and
Hmm.
blood don't mix. Personal relationships and money don't mix. You want to fuck up a friendship real quick? Or, and to take it back to even another hip hop lyric, you never really know how another person feels about you until you both up. Because when you're down, there's no strain on everything. Y'all are both living that struggle together.
Hmm.
When one of you begins to climb, the other one begins to get motivated by it and then also cheers for your success. When you both up is when things can really get rocky. Because if the only way that I can stay up is to cross you like AI did Mike, it's easier to give forgiveness and permission. But yeah, man, just that that whole article, man, very interesting read. Very interesting read. And it is going to give us a lot to talk about as we continue to move forward.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It's a crazy situation too, just because when you turn on playoff baseball, man, you just feel the electricity that just doesn't come from any of the 1 through 162 ball games. It
At
just
all.
has a different feel.
At
Like
all.
even on my TV, teams I don't even really give a shit who wins. I just want to see some good, intense baseball in the last few innings of a ball game, and there's no replacing it. The Mariners, I don't even know if I said this yet because we've just been rolling. I didn't really plan on a ton just to go with the flow tonight. But you want to know what? The Mariners have been crawling through, or the fans, I should say, the organization also. We've been crawling through the shit from the prison to freedom, like Andy in Shawshank Redemption. We've been crawling through the shit for that long, man. We've been crawling. We're puking in it and we finally want to see the light. We want to look up to the heavens and have the rain pour down on us. Hopefully, it's World Series champagne, but it starts at the top, and we know these guys care to a certain extent.
So it's a very slippery slope that they walking with us. It's a very slippery slope
Hmm.
because we're 1 or 2 bad years in this whole projected over the 54% from turning into the new version of the Oakland A's.
Mm.
Not that I think Seattle would lose the team before the fan base just become completely disinterested. But also, too, I don't know, man. I think that there's an advantage where they can take advantage of the blind loyalty,
Mm.
where there's a large populace of the Seattle market in Everett and Tacoma, and I don't live up there, so I can't name all the little towns around it. Um, it really, other than Seahawks games, it's really the only thing in town, especially during the summer. They're gonna make their money. They're gonna
Mm.
make their money. Make a move to show us that you're serious about being able to compete for a World Series, and no more of this fucking cryptic fucking talk where you're talking to us like we're fucking crazy, and we don't know exactly what this offseason is gonna bring. We're gonna want a big bat, and you're gonna get us Jose Abreu.
Oh my god, if that happens, dude.
Nuts, man. Nuts. Nuts. So
All
again,
right.
apologize to those of you who are following us along the live chat tonight. We are having technical difficulties with the mothership out there in Nashville. Our super producer is working on getting it back up as quickly as possible. But really, we didn't have a whole lot to go over tonight. Matter of fact, anyway, We do have a very interesting episode next week with a friend of the program, Eric Neal, coming on so we can go over the year in review and just finally put a nail in this coffin of the 2024 season and then begin to move on to covering some other sports as well as baseball. The baseball playoffs, NBA preseason starting to kick up. We're fully in the swing of football. And I'm telling you, man, NFL and college just starting to get real interesting, man. Anything can happen. Anybody seems to be able to beat anybody. I want to give another shout out to Albuquerque because a kid from Albuquerque's Volcano Vista High School named Diego Pavia, even though he is a little bitch, did just beat the number one team in the country. Oh no, you don't understand what kind of a bitch he is. So I get that he was upset that the Lobos didn't recruit him, but he's fucking short. So of course New Mexico State was going to recruit him. And then they come up here for the rivalry game and he pisses on the practice facility and then gave the most half-hearted apology for it. I get it. I get it. But dude, you from Albuquerque, man. We don't treat our own shit like that. We're not fucking heathens. I don't give a damn what Breaking Bad says. We know better than that. But shout out to that kid, man. He parlayed that into getting into an SEC school and did what everybody who doesn't go to one of the power schools for. Hope that you have a Saturday night that they'll make a documentary about. Man, he sure did have it. Threw for 254, two touchdowns, and a 40-35 victory over the number one team in the nation. And what I thought the coolest shit about this weekend was, you got to give it to Vanderbilt. It, it, making the most of living in Nashville. They paraded the goalposts right down the heart of downtown and then threw it in the river
Uh,
the way you're supposed to do it.
I think they had to carry that thing a couple of miles to get to that
Yeah,
river
because it
also.
ain't close. It ain't close. And the mother, no one was leaving until that thing touched the river. And they talk about there's no unity amongst us.
That's the beauty of sports right there, man. Because this is obviously a contentious time for all Americans, no matter where you stand on the political and economic spectrum. So it's always great to have something that unifies us during divisive times. Mariners Lifer is saying, is NIL making college football balanced? And I absolutely think it is. There's also a couple other factors I would throw in the transfer portal because you're not going to have like Miami in the early 2000s, where you have three or four Pro Bowl running backs on your roster at one time. And then I also kind of think, RG, that this expanded playoff, we're seeing our very first year of it. I think that there's more teams that will look ahead of games more often because it's not that do or die scenario where you get one loss, you're out of the playoff and championship contention. What is it? 12 teams now, I think.
Yeah.
So you can easily have a couple losses on your resume to make it in. But man, I can't lie, bro. I've watched less than 5 minutes of Vanderbilt football in my entire life, and I was glued to the second half of that shit on Saturday night. For any college football fan, that was fucking awesome.
It was, man. It was a party to be had. It was absolutely a party to be had. And again, even though personally I may have the feelings I do towards him, for me, from my small state and my small part of the world, it was definitely good to see a kid from Volcano Vista High School uh, orchestrate the upset of the season right now in college football.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I want to say there was three or four games that fans stormed the field on Saturday, so that's how crazy it was. We saw UW get their cheese dick revenge, I would call it, on Michigan. A lot of people are really hyped, and I'm just thinking, why didn't that happen last January? But I mean, it is what it is. We saw that exact scenario with the Seahawks at New England the very season after the interception on the 1 yard line. Seattle fans should be used to it by now. But yeah, just a fantastic weekend. Emmett Brown saying that the stadium was rocking and electric 2 years ago. It was. And if we can even get the Mariners T Mobile to anywhere close to a college football atmosphere, fantastic.
Yeah, man, for sure. for sure. What I personally like during the postseason is the energy out of the road team's dugout
Oh yeah.
because there's no one in there, and when they get to rocking, it just takes over everything because the stadium is quiet and there's just
Hmm.
30 people in there just going as bonkers as they can. So that's all. That's all you got. That's all you got. Like, did you happen to see any of this shit that happened in LA tonight between the Dodgers and the Padres?
Nah, man, what's up?
Oh man, people out there throwing shit at Tatis from the stands.
Oh no.
And then the Padres came up the next inning and hit more home runs.
Jeez.
Just loving it. Just loving it. The rivalries are real, man. Just loving it.
It's fun. It's just an atmosphere you can't get anywhere. Padres got Dodgers fan acting like SEC fans. I can't go there, Mariners lifer. On my bucket list is to go to some of these Southeast Conference games because I've been to some damn good college football games. I've been to a few stadiums, but I'd have never been to the Southeast. And we know that shit's like religion down there. But too much fun. Too much fun. I don't want to rain on your parade, man, but your Seminoles frankly suck right now. They are lucky that their starting quarterback got hurt, I believe. So they put the backup in. It doesn't seem to be doing a damn. Deion Sanders is working miracles at Colorado. That team has had like one good season since the 90s when they had Cordell Stewart. Are they going to come calling for prime time to come home?
They may be in a position where he may not take it if they call him. Because
Mmm.
what do they have for him? What do they have for him? They may have more than Colorado, but obviously they don't have what it takes to be able to compete in this NIL world by the simple fact that you
Mmm.
didn't pay Cam Ward and you went after DJU.
Interesting.
Just my
I,
thoughts.
I didn't really think of it like that. But there's like cool ways that coaches are motivating players right now because the Wazoo Cougars beat UW in Seattle. And I can't remember, they had another big win also this year, but the Wazoo head coach was saying, "Yeah, we beat two $5 million teams this year. What do y'all think about that?" And I love that shit right there. I guess teams that don't have all the NIL money, obviously you have to develop, but you have to get your players with a giant chip on their shoulder. And it's fun. I love it.
Absolutely, man. We're definitely going to see what type of turns that college football takes now with the NIL in place, now with the expanded playoffs. They were talking about that it would take away from the luster of some of these games. That scene in downtown Nashville on Saturday night told me that all of this shit still matters to somebody.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right. Again, we thank you for the patience of those of you rocking with us in the live chat. Our super producer worked miracles, man, was able to get you guys back involved in it. Unfortunately, that might be a wrap on it tonight, though. Not a whole lot to discuss. We do want to save some meat on the bone for next week's episode. Again, special guest Harry Nail coming through so we can put the nail in the 2024 season of that which was the Seattle Mariners. Ty, any final thoughts, man?
Fun time of year. The frustration amongst Mariners fans is palpable right now, as well it should be. And I know not everyone's an outdoorsman type, but maybe go get yourself a fishing pole at Walmart or some shit like that. Because we need to do some things to not, like you said, blindly show up to the ballpark. And there's not a ton of sports teams out here, but if you can find anything else to do, do that. And damn it, Stanton, come on, baby. Stanton, Depoto, ownership, front office. We need more from y'all. We really do.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's the homie Ty Talks, man. Looking forward to next week. Hopefully the Seahawks beat the Wine. Man, San Francisco. Dude, we gonna get into it a lot more. We're sorry for the abbreviated episode this week, but we do got more coming for you next week. Ty Talks, man, the homie as always. I couldn't do this without him. Special shout out to Vaden Podcast Services presents My Oh My, it's another sports podcast each and every Sunday night. We try to be live on YouTube and as well on Twitch. Follow us all on our socials, My Oh My ASP. You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Ty puts out shorts all week. Entertaining things coming from our social media director, Miss Katie Matsumoto, helping the engine keep running. For those of you who can't make the live episode, you can get your recording each and every Tuesday morning, wherever you get your favorite podcast from. Thank you for the download numbers. Thank you for those of you that rock with the live chat. Don't forget to give us a like, give us some suggestions, and most importantly, hit us up, man. We love to see some of you on the chat, be in here in this chat with us, and get part of the live and let you be our special guest co-host. None of this is possible without you. We thank you for rocking with us. That's the homie Ty Talks 24. Shout out to the homie Indy in Nashville. I'm that dude RG. Y'all have a good Sunday night. We'll see you next time.